Alright, on today's episode we're going to show you how to get this Felder C3 into your shop. Okay, so what do you do when your Felder C3 arrives from Austria? It is 8 feet wide, so that's the good news. It will fit into the garage. But what do you do when the delivery guy didn't bring the right pallet lifter, and so he only got it this far into your garage and you need to get it in the rest of the way? Now, we don't have a pallet lifter. We're lucky we do have a car lift, and we do have some dowels. So what we're going to try and do is a little bit, maybe we'll call it the Egyptian method. We're going to try putting dowels underneath the pallet, and using our lift, our jack, we're going to try and get it onto the dowels and then use a little muscle and see what we can do. So let's see if we're successful. Alright, so we did it. We got it through the front door and moved it 4 feet in, so now it's out of the weather. So now our next mission, now that we're riding high on that mission, I'm sure we can accomplish this one. Our next mission is to unpack it a little bit and get it to roll off of a ramp that we're going to build down into the shop. So we've got some old plywood we'll utilize, and we'll get working on that. This is going to be the bar that will be used to lift the unit, and it came with a slight problem. It looks like this got damaged either in transit or maybe at the factory. Kind of looks like the factory because there was nothing wrong with the box that it came in. And so we're having to do a little surgery to the hole here, a little bit of reaming, so that we can get that bar through there. Okay, so now we're installing the lifter so that you can lift this beast and move it around your shop. It comes with a wheel kit if you want to buy that separately. I strongly suggest that you consider that, because without the wheel kit it's going to sit wherever you sit it and it's not going to move. But with this wheel kit is that bar that we were working on earlier right here. This bar you'll use to leverage it up. So we're attaching a little cleat you can see right there where you put the bar onto, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so something we just learned, which is that when you're putting on this little cleat, careful of what is behind here, because this cord runs right almost underneath it, and if I had tightened this, it would have crushed the cord. I'm not sure if it's connected to this cord, but it is an electrical cord. Good catch. Okay, so day 2, we have put on the wheel kit, and we are ready to start moving it down our homemade ramp that we've got. It's basically a 4x8 sheet of 3/4 inch plywood that we put some 2x4s under, one on the flat, one on the edge, screwed it together, met it up to our pallet, and now we're ready to try and see if we can roll this baby off. So we will open up the glass doors, let in all the moths. Good. Woohoo! Victory! Nice. We did it. Okay, so when the machine gets here, you're going to need to do a bunch of things to get it ready. One of the first steps is you're going to need to remove these little wedges from underneath the sliding table. They keep the sliding table from moving during transit. So there's 2 of them on this side,
and it looks like you just need to get in there with something like a screwdriver, and you just pull that out, and let's go around to the other side. It looks like there's two right here as well. A little bit of elbow grease pulls them out, and that one was easy. Good. So in a second we should be able to operate the table. Turning this little knob should do the trick. It did the trick. Awesome.
Cool.
So this is how far this sliding table goes. It's quite a throw. Something you got to think about in your shop is making sure that you have enough room for a full throw if you ever need it.
I don't think it does fit in the shop. Alright, so in Marius Hornberg's video, he shows that he was able to store a bunch of his tools underneath the sliding table. And I think for this wrench, you can, if you store it here, it won't contact anything. But if you store it here, you're going to run into some trouble. There are some things in the bottom of this, like I think this is a stop right here that you probably don't want to contact with any of your tools. Alright, so one thing that we hadn't figured out before we had gotten this machine is we thought that with this extension for the outrigger table that we'd be able to cut a full sheet of plywood by basically just like bringing this all the way back and then being able to push the whole thing forward. One thing that we've noticed though is that there is a certain limitation to how far you can pull this out. In this configuration, you can't do a full sheet of plywood. You could do something, you could do a cross cut roughly like 48 inches wide or something, but any longer than that and it's going to be too long. The way that you are supposed to do it is you loosen these. Tighten it back up. And then you flip this over, so we loosen this off. And it has a pivot point here and here. So we loosen that one, we loosen this one, we loosen these two things. So we need to actually switch which side these two things go on. And what this is it's a stop, a positive stop that stops at a bunch of useful angles, like 5 degrees and stuff like that. And now what we can do is have it give us positive stops at 5 degrees. This fits right into a pin at 5 degrees, and at 10 degrees, and at 15 degrees, 20, and so that should give you actually a little bit more than 45 degrees. Oh, and so then if you want 0 degrees, you fold this guy up and then you have 0 degrees. So then if you're doing a big sheet of plywood, then you can bring this all the way back till before the blade. You'd have your sheet here. I'd be way back here, and then you'd simply just push it all the way through, and it keeps going. Alright, so one of the things that sort of gave us a hang up was this extrusion. We weren't sure where it was supposed to go. We were convinced that it was supposed to go right here, but it doesn't fit in any way. We thought that that's where the feeder would eventually go and stuff like that, but we watched a couple of videos, figured out it's actually supposed to go here, and it's supposed to be where you take off your ripping fence and you convert it into your planer fence over here. So that's what I'm going to attach right now. Just like that. Alright, so this step was giving us some trouble. You need to get this perfectly square. This is the bar that holds the
Power
feeder. I've got it square now, but it took a lot of swearing, and the reason for that is there are two small, very flat nuts in here that you need to be able to turn independently in order to adjust that angle and get it perfectly square. The reason for the swearing was also because we were using too big a wrench. Luckily we have this 13mm very thin wrench. It's just the perfect size to be able to turn each of these flat nuts independently of each other. However, if I were to use one of these, I'd have to turn both at the same time. This is just, we sort of just lucked out with this, but before you get this machine, it'd probably be good to find one of these. I have no idea where we got it, but
That's if you're installing the power feeder.
it's true. Okay, so we thought this would be a pretty simple install. This is the power feeder roller mount. It allows the power roller to go into position and then rotate out of position. So you have to take out some bolts, put on this plate. We thought that would be pretty straightforward, but it's not. We got to this step right here, which is putting on this little hinge piece, and if you follow the directions, it says to put on this nut first. If you do that, you will very likely strip one or both of these two bolts that you'll be told to put in second. So don't put these in second. Put these in first to hold your piece on, then put on this nut. We actually stripped a bolt a little bit. We stripped both the bolt and the female mate, so we had to go in there and tap it a little bit to fix that. So that took us, an hour. So don't make that mistake that we made. Put in these two first to hold it in place, then tighten this one on, then you can tighten everything up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Down below we're going to have a link to the Felder website. So now you know how to get a Felder C3 into your shop.